What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the overall market, some very important things to know about the market before we open, and also what's going on with the data coming out for today. But before I break anything down about all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in just 12 hours, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the overall market. So looking at SPYs, things up about 0.4% in the pre-market, making an attempt to rebound. And this is what we were expecting from yesterday, but the question is, how big will this rebound end up being? Will this just be a very tiny dead cat bounce? Could this be a little bit bigger before we see anything else? And here's my answer. On the weekly chart, SPY looks more bearish as of right now. This suggests that there could be more downside as of right now. This is what the chart is suggesting. Now, if the market has downside, that tells us that SPY could hit 420, 422.5 or levels like that in the future. But before that happens, and I actually don't think we're just going to go directly down there, like we just tank and tank directly without getting any sort of like bounce. I think the market is going to make an attempt to bounce, try to get some kind of like counter trend rally as we're very, very oversold. It's going to attempt to do so before we see any more downside. And I think that that's what's going to happen for today. I think that's happening like right now. And we're going to be watching some particular levels to determine how big this is going to be. So when it comes to data, as a reminder, we don't really have anything, just some crude oil data, nothing else that's too significant for Wednesday. And then some things to know about the markets is that futures were higher this morning, but the equities were a little bit slower, but they're actually starting to catch up right now. There's some new news coming out about the Federal Trade Commission filed a long-expected lawsuit against Amazon in federal court, accusing it of having too much monopoly power. So interesting to see. The UAW strikes are once again, or not the UAW one, but the Hollywood writers are allowed to work again. This is the union representing the scribes. This is once again continuing, and this was some very, very big news for many of those companies. And this is where the UAW was. Right here, you can see that this is just continuing. Once again, even President Joe Biden was there. And now we're seeing some new news coming out about Target closing some stores. It would close about 9 stores in cities such as New York, Portland, and San Francisco because of crime and etc. Now let's break down what's happening with the charts. So looking at this chart, I mean, on SPY, we have a potential inverse head and shoulder setup that could be developing. But for this to get some more uh, merit, for this to have more credibility, I want to see this break above the 50 EMA at 428.25. So, like we predicted yesterday, the market may get some kind of counter trend bounce after coming off very, very hard. It could drop more in the future, but for the short term, just for now, it's going to make an attempt to bounce. So if you want to turn really bullish, you want to see SPY get above 428.25, and then that's when it's going to have some potential to try to go a little higher and get closer to 430. But we need to get above 428.25, very, very close to this 50 EMA. If we're bearish, you want to see it break below 426.8, and it's going to come all the way down to fill this gap in the mid 426s. If it breaks below 426.5 or gap support, it could come all the way down back into the 425s. So we want to watch that very, very carefully. All right, so watch these levels. Don't forget to watch 426.5 as support and resistance at 428.25. From a technical standpoint, it's looking like this thing drops so hard and wants to rebound. So we're going to be watching to see if this thing could get above 428 and hold it. If it manages to do so, it's going to have more potential. If it fails, then it could just chop around like this. But as of right now, it's looking like it's trying to push. I think we're going to test the 428, so we're going to make an attempt to try to break it. And we're going to see if we could try to hold above that or not. Looking at Tesla, Tesla's looking kind of flat right now. We have this gap down here, so we could see Tesla basically trade a little sideways for an extended period of time. Tesla's been trading sideways for quite some time, not really doing much. It's just been going back and forth and back and forth. But if the market is going to help Tesla in any way, shape, or form, Tesla does have potential to try to get back up to this like 250 area if the market can manage to hold up. So I think there could be another counter trend for Tesla, but it's not going to be that insane. We could just see a little pop here and there before it comes back down, and it may continue to trade sideways. But if we break above 250 and continue to hold it, then that's when we have potential to go up to like 255 and etc. So that's going to be a very key level for Tesla. If you're bearish on Tesla, you want to see it break below 241. If that's the case, if Tesla breaks below 241, then it could start sinking towards 238 again. But for now, it looks very flat. But there could be a little pop coming, just like how we saw yesterday, and lots of sideways price action. As of right now, that's what it's looking like. On Apple stock, if you look at Apple, this has a potential inverse head and shoulders as well, but it has to get above 173.39 or 50 EMA. If you're bullish, you want to see it break above 173.39 and hold above that, and it can start pushing towards 174 plus, and that could be a little bit more bullish. If you're bearish, you want to see it break below 172.5. If it does so, there's a gap down here at 172. Also, it could retest these lower levels. So if 172.5 breaks, you're bearish. If it gets above 173.39, we could turn a little bit more bullish temporarily. Okay, we could get a temporary bounce thanks to that. On the QQQ, we're looking a little bit more bullish. I'm leaning a little bit more in the direction of trying to break out, but I want to watch for confirmation just to be safe. 356 is where we have this resistance, 356.17 at the 50 EMA. If we break that, then we could see this thing try to get closer to 358, so there could be a slight counter trend rally. If it fails, it could come right back down to 354. If that fails, so this like wick right here, this is going to be our support, a very important level, then it's going to start collapsing to lower levels. Okay, so could the market drop lower in the future? Yes, it can. Before that happens, we may get a bounce. And right now, the market's attempting to bounce. So watch 356.17 on the triple Q. It looks like it's going to test that. If we break it and manage to hold above it, then we have more potential for upside. As of right now, we haven't broken it, so we want to watch that very carefully as your very important base. Nvidia is looking quite flat right now. There was a risk of Nvidia dropping. I was talking about it, but it actually dropped down, almost filled this gap during the pre-market before coming back up. And now it's holding up and it's very stationary right now, very tight. Looks to me like Nvidia is also trying to get its part of this counter trend bounce. Nvidia looks like it may test 424 very, very soon. Maybe get a little pop just like how we did yesterday, come back down and continue to trade sideways. So I'm anticipating some upside for Nvidia, just a little bit of upside, an attempt to break the 200 EMA. If it holds above 424, I keep saying 2 guys, sorry about that. 424, if we hold above that, it has the potential to try to get closer to 428 again. So watch that very carefully. That's going to be a key resistance, which I think Nvidia is going to test and try to break. If you're bearish, you want to see it break below 420. My gut is telling me it's going to try to test 424 and try to hold above that. So watch that all very, very carefully. The VIX is finally starting to drop after we got this bearish divergence, but it's not dropping that much. It's still holding up, which suggests that there's no like true confirmation that the VIX is going to tank just yet or anything like that. So the market is due for this temporary bounce. The dollar is also it dropped just a little bit, but it's kind of flat right now, so I'm going to be watching that as well. And last but not least, I think that's pretty much it for the video for now. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful. Make sure you watch your levels very carefully, that 428 level on SPY especially, and we will see if it can break out or not. All right, so have a great day, guys. Take care. Do what you have to do. Watch your levels carefully and just know the market's attempting to bounce right now, but it still has some resistance to fight. So watch it carefully, be very patient, and let the chart decide which way we're going to go, and let the charts tell you where to trade in the markets. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you, and peace out.